Uh, Everybody just heard the announcement. This meeting is being recorded, is being live streamed. And I would want to entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
I got so moved, and I got a second on Mr. Tanzi. Roll call, Mr. Tanzi. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Sr. He's got a yes. I got that. Okay. So let's go for legal advertisement. 7:30 p.m. Open meeting will require instructions what to do. 7:30 approval. Okay, number one, approval of May 20th and May 23rd, 2025 meeting minutes. Anybody have any issues?
No.
No.
No issues. I would entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes. We can do them individually or we can do them as a group. Either way.
I would recommend we do them individually, Mr.
We
Chairman.
shall do them individually. Who wants to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Approve the May 20th, 2025 minutes.
Correct.
I need a second.
A second.
I got roll call on Mr. Tanzi.
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Galley,
Yes.
and unfortunately, we lost a Mr. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. Bob Baker Jr. Senior, if you can hear me, do you approve the May 20th?
Sure.
meeting minutes? Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. I got that. So that's the roll call. That's good. I would entertain a motion to approve the May 23rd, 2025 minutes.
So moved.
So I got a motion by Mr. Tanzi. I need a second.
Second.
I got a second by Mr. Baker Jr. Roll call, Mr. Tanzi.
Yes.
Myself is a yes, Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.
Yes.
And because he came in, Mr. Baker Sr.,
Yes.
and we're going counterclockwise, Mr. Galley.
Yes.
Minutes are done. Okay. So 7:30 p.m. 157 Market Street. The zoning board of appeals will be meeting remotely until further notice. The video. I'm not reading any of that. Notice is hereby given in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 48, Section 11 and 15. A virtual remote public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. on the application submitted by Rockland FCU of 241 Union Street, Rockland, Mass. for a special permit pursuant to zoning bylaws, section 415-14C13 of business with a drive-up window. The applicant is proposing the construction of a bank and allowed use in a business 2 zoning district as per 415.14A2 with a drive-up window. Special permit per section 415-14C13 and the demolition of a former Burger King restaurant. Property is located in the B2 Business Zoning District, section 415-14 of the zoning bylaws, and is further identified as lot 94, map 51 on the Rockland Assessors maps. The owner of the property is Rockland FCU 241 Union Street, Rockland, Massachusetts. I see Attorney Steve Gard. How you doing, Steve?
Good. How was everyone this evening?
Good.
Doing well, thank you.
All doing good.
Great.
I think we're going to default to you here. You would like to speak for the applicant.
Yeah. So I think the public notice indicates way more than what we're here before you this evening. This evening is simply just for the special permit under 14C13 for a drive-up window. As you know, this was the old site of the Burger King. It had a drive-up window before. I didn't want to rely on the fact that it had a pre-existing window because it seems to me like that use may have been abandoned because it hasn't been a Burger King in a long time. So having discussed that with the building department, planning department, we came to the conclusion that it would make the best sense to come before the zoning board of appeals and get a special permit for the drive-up window. Now, there may have been some confusion. It may have been me and my zealous with respect to the elaborate sort of public notice and the details in the public notice. This isn't a special permit application to raise and reconstruct the building. It's not a special permit application for even the bank. The bank is an allowed use by right. What we just wanted to make sure is that we could get the drive-through window so that we could go to the planning board for their site plan review And if we have to come back to the ZBA for any relief that's a result of that, we will for whatever, pre-existing non-conforming things like that. I don't think there are any with respect to the structure. The site itself consists of, we're maintaining most, if not all, of the existing pavement and the curb cuts and even the parking curbs. There's going to be some pavement changes around the proximity of the building, but the exterior is going to be changed. There was some discussion before the meeting with respect to the asphalt not meeting your 10-foot setback in the green space as it shows on the plan. We updated the plans in the zoning table to include the existing measurements for the setback from the asphalt to the sideline. And obviously the required, we're not touching that. So that's not something we're going to increase or decrease, or it's a non-conformity that we're not going to touch when we finally get down the road for the building. I'm only bringing this up by way of background and in a sense to kind of get a footnote, maybe asking the board, do they think that we need to come back for a special permit if we're not touching that particular dimensional component of the development down the road. In your package, you may have seen a version of this plan that had a canopy over the drive-through. The drive-through is going to be in that little bump out area to the right. And we eliminated that because it would appear that based on town council's opinion, that is an accessory structure that's attached to the building and would be subject to the 30-foot sideline setback. So we removed it. If we come back, if they want that canopy, we're going to have to come back to you folks for a variance, or potentially there is maybe an argument for a special permit, but likely we'd need a variance to put that back up. So that's been removed from the plan, so there's no confusion. This special permit is for the use of a drive-up window. In the bylaw under 415 section 35H, which is it's a different spot, the only real dimensional consideration for the drive-up window is that it needs to be at least 100 feet from the curb cut, when cars are coming in off the road. As you can see here, the traffic will come off of Market Street, and it'll come in and it'll go all the way around behind the bank and then come back up to the window. So I think we measured it out. It's like over 400 feet between what you would have and what you would call, queuing cars if forever they had that many cars waiting at the drive-up window. And then they would exit through the same place that they came in by going out and then taking a right onto Market Street. Of course, the whole site plan review will be with the planning board, so we'll get into the traffic flow. But for the purposes of our meeting tonight and the special permit for the drive-up window, those are the basic sort of elements that we're requesting the special permit for.
That was well done. That was quick.
I will say, thank you. I will say that unfortunately, Kevin Grady couldn't be here this evening because he had a conflict with Brockton, but we do have someone from Grady Associates on staff tonight that actually did the plan. So if you have any specific questions that I can't answer, then there is someone available.
Sounds good. Let's open it up to the board. Mr. Tanzi, what kind of questions do you have for the applicant today?
I don't have any questions pertaining to the drive-through.
Mhm.
The 10-foot setback, it's an existing non-conforming use. It abuts a McDonald's for the most part. There might be I think it abuts all commercial.
All business.
land.
Yep.
Yeah, all business.
All around. So, I mean, I know that that's not part of tonight's venue, but if you wanted, if Attorney Guard wanted
Yeah, here we are.
input there, I don't really have an issue with it. It's almost 10 feet, but it's an existing nonconformity.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than what most people give us.
Yeah, Greg, honestly, I don't think I've ever run into a situation where I was trying to figure out if we needed a special permit for a structure that complied, but then you have asphalt that doesn't comply. So it was in a gray area. So that's why I kind of brought it up tonight. I think that where we're not disturbing the existing nonconformity and we're sticking with it, I think we're okay, to build it the way we're doing it. Because the structure is going to comply.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Sounds good, Greg. Now we go to Mr. Baker Jr. Talk to me, sir.
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman, but thank you for asking.
Thank you, Mr. Baker Jr. Steve Galley.
No, I have no questions. I was just looking at the site plan and you already answered my question, so thank you.
Sounds good, Steve. Mr. Baker Senior.
Thank you. Two questions. The loading area out front. What's that for?
Well, so when we finally get down to brass tacks, your bylaw requires us to provide a loading area for, I guess it would be the Amazon trucks and the UPS trucks. And that's where the engineer has laid it out for this particular site. I have no opinion one way or the other.
Have you talked to the fire department at all on that?
I don't think we've gotten that far on the site plan, to tell you the truth.
Because that's site plan approval.
Yeah.
Right. The only other question is the little driveway cut through that goes from the property to the plaza driveway in Dunkin' Donuts.
What's your question?
That may interfere with the drive-through.
No, I don't think it does. I think I specifically had them design that particular radius so that we had, what I didn't want to see was that sort of cut through was a straight shot, because we don't want people coming off of Market Street to avoid the light and then cutting through. So that's why we made this sort of a drastic turn when we get into this, so that the people have to slow down when they come through here to go to the bank from the plaza, or they have to slow down and make that right-hand turn when they come, when they leave the property to go to the plaza. So I would leave that to the traffic engineers for their discussion when we do the site plan review, but it's a good question. I don't think it will interfere with the drive-through, but obviously if they think it does, then we'll make adjustments at that spot for sure, so that it'll work.
My big question is, if there's cars staged there in the drive-through line and someone comes through the plaza, they're gonna have to go in all up towards Market Street, turn around and get in line, or they're gonna try to cut in there.
Yeah, that's a good point, and
It'd be like road rage there.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have stacking for probably 5 or 6 cars. I don't think it's, well, I don't know the answer to that. They would have to go into the parking lot and turn around and get in line. Correct. Yeah. I don't think they'd have to go out to Market Street. They'd have to go into the parking lot, use an empty space, turn around and come back and get in line. But you make a good point for sure. But I do think that we have stacking for 5 or 6 cars there.
Right, because when Burger King was there, I seen a couple of incidents there that
Sure.
someone came out and tried to cut in line
Yeah.
because there was, 8 or 10 cars waiting at the speaker box there. I know there's no speaker box here anymore, so you're gonna be further up.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that my office being right above the drive-through window for Coastal Heritage Bank, I think with a bank we're going to have we'll have fewer cars use the drive-up window than let's say a CVS or a Burger King, and I also think we'll probably have a shorter time frame when they get up there. You know what I mean? It's just making a deposit and whatnot. I don't know the operation of the bank specifically, but I just know my office window is right above the drive-through for Coastal Heritage in front of Target, and it's very lightly used. I don't think I've ever seen more than 1 car there at a time, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, it's a very good question, and I think we would definitely address it when we do the site plan.
Okay, at the drive-through, is it only gonna be a window, or is it gonna be those?
I think I think we can only have the window without the canopy because I don't think we may have one of those little, you know, the little kiosks that you put the thing in and it vacuums,
Right.
sucks it through. Probably have 2 lanes with one of those as well.
So you're gonna have single lane coming up to two lanes there and then go into a single lane going out of the drive-through, right?
What? I don't.
What it looks like.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna-
think that's what it
that's
is.
what it-
Yeah, because see how the proposed plan has the 2 arrows. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It'll be 1 lane coming up. You'll split into 2, and then you'll have to go back to 1 when you leave.
And the traffic people don't think that's gonna be a problem?
No, that's the way they do it on typically on all of their drive-through windows for the bank.
That's all.
McDonald's has a similar setup, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
You know, they have a dual order board and they merge into a single lane when you go to pay and pick up.
Yeah, but
Right,
just about
but
the
this is-
bank also does too. They have the window that's like, they have the drive-up window, which is right next to the building. And then on the other side of that, there's usually an ATM, either an ATM or the vacuum. So it's stereotypical of every bank. My only question is, in that general location, there's a grease trap. Steve, do you have any idea if that's getting saved? Are you saving that for the new construction or?
No. I think that's going to be gone, Rob. I don't see we would need a grease trap. for
Yeah,
that.
and it doesn't, and it's gonna get in the way for anything that
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to be supported there, like a canopy or something like that. So that's the
Definitely.
only reason why I asked that.
I can't see that staying either. I can't. I don't see anything on the plan that says, you know, that it's going to be removed, but
But then again, this is not site plan, this is not a site
Yeah.
plan approval, so
Yeah,
we're not gonna
but-
worry about it.
it was a good question
Um,
about the cars stacking and queuing for sure. I think
Mr.
there's
Baker
enough room
Senior,
there.
do you have, Mr. Baker Senior, do you have anything else you want to add to this? Did he fall asleep? No, he's moving. Mr.
I'm
Ba-
fine.
Mr.
Nope,
You're all good, Mr. Okay, so you're all good. The only question I had was about the grease trap. It's probably going because it's not gonna be needed for the new, for the new use, so that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I had one other question and it's escaping me at this point. So I'm not gonna worry about it because it couldn't have been that important.
Mr. Chairman, I have one question.
Oh, please, Mr. Tansy, go for it.
Um, the Union Street Credit Union location, will that remain operational or will that move to this location? Do you know?
No, my understanding it's going to stay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. At least that's what they're telling me right now it's going to stay. They're excited to have a new branch. And a lot of the banks, I did one in Marshfield on 139 for Quincy Credit Union. A lot of the banks are just, they're in this sort of like update mode, the older banks. They're trying to make new, more modern buildings, attracting people to come in and do banking. I think these things are designed for millennials to come in and go to bank. Not sure why they don't even know how to run a checkbook, but whatever. So, but it seems to me it's a process that some of the banks are going through right now to sort of modernize. And they're very excited to have acquired this site.
Good location.
Yeah, I think it's great for the town with an old derelict building. It's been there a long time and the bank is excited to put it. It fits really well. As you can see, when you look at the existing conditions, when we go to site plan, we're keeping a lot of the configuration the same for the way the bank will be. So, and I think it'll be a more passive use than the Burger King. And not that has anything to do with the drive-through, but I think it'll be less busy for sure,
Well, makes sense. Mr. Tansy, you got anything else?
No, I don't, Mr. Chairman.
All right, board members, anybody got anything else?
No.
Hearing none, let's go to Tom Rubel. I see you're up here. I know you don't got your ears on. There you go. Do you have anything, any issues, any questions? Microphone's not on, but it sounds like you're saying no.
No, I'm fine. Everything looks great.
All right, appreciate it, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Allison, I see you, you got your ears on?
Nothing here.
Nothing
Pretty
here, plan's
straightforward.
good at this point. From there, I'm gonna go to the general public. Is there anybody here that wants to speak in favor of this application? 2, 3, hearing none. Is there anybody that wants to speak opposed to this application? 1, 2, 3, hearing none. I'm going back to the board. Board members, you got anything else you wanna ask, wanna hear, wanna talk about?
Not for me, Mr. Chairman.
Not from me, Mr. Chairman. Hearing that, I would entertain a motion to close the open portion of this public hearing.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call. Let me get back to my screen here. Can we take that, the plan down? Gabrielle? Gabrielle, I'm assuming she's the one who shared this.
Yeah, I don't think I'm sharing my screen, Rob.
There
There we go. Thank you. Appreciate that. Just so I can see. So we got a motion. Who made the motion?
I did, Mr. Chairman.
Who made the second?
I did.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Galley?
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior?
Yes.
Okay, Attorney Guard, here we go. Open here now, board. The board will deliberate tonight and you are welcome to stay. You will receive a decision in the mail with a date stamp, 21 days from the date stamp. On the decision, go to the town clerk's office, request a certificate of no appeal, and if no one is appealed, the town clerk will give you a certification of a copy and a copy of the original decision. Take those to the registry and have them recorded. One of the conditions is always to show the building department proof of recording. There we go. All right, so that being done, what else have we got on here? What's the next thing? Okay, now I give the podium over to Allison. Allison, you got
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Before we get on to the next item, could I ask Allison if an amended agenda was prepared with this matter on it?
No, it came up as a unforeseen, not reasonably
I
anticipated.
understand that, but it's still the preference of the open meeting law.
You're
It
not
didn't-
taking a vote on this?
Well, let me read what it says, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
If a discussion is proposed after a meeting notice is posted and was not reasonably anticipated by the chair more than 48 hours before the meeting, the public body should update its posting to provide the public with as much notice as possible of what subjects will be discussed during the meeting. Although a public body may consider a topic that was not listed in the meeting notice if it was not anticipated, the Attorney General strongly encourages public bodies to postpone discussion and action on topics that are controversial or may be of particular interest to the public if the topic was not listed in the meeting notice. So.
Okay, do you want to table it? We can do that if that's your preference.
I think we should just not consider it and place it on a later agenda. That's just my opinion.
Hearing that, I tend to agree.
Can I just have one second of your time? All due respect, I want to like just showcase this came up as an issue.
Allison, I don't think we should discuss it because it is not on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
I thought Allison was about to discuss the process of a subject as opposed to the subject
The
itself.
process is just get it on the agenda outside the 48 hours.
Allison, can I just ask you, were you just trying to discuss the process for the moment or the actual item?
No, I wanted to showcase that this is common practice. It's not I'm not trying to raise an issue that if I thought that it was something that was going to be poorly received or that we were going to get a lot of community.
Mr. Chairman, this is the substance of the matter, which should not be discussed.
I hear everybody involved at this point. I will make one comment and one comment only. That this really comes down to its notification to the board and it's handled under an administrative approval, meaning This is not something that we need to vote on. It's
Mhm.
just notification to us that it's happening. It's not something that, it's not a discussion that we have to worry about. It's something that is just happening.
But it is a discussion of a public matter that wasn't posted.
I agree with you. I hear you.
I'd like to express my opinion that I would like for Allison to have been able to complete her statement before she was interrupted when she was trying to respond to the comment.
Thank you, Mr. Galley. And so while I agree that this is not the best practice, that's a true statement. It's a nuanced situation that was just brought to light at the very tail end of last week. I did not have ample time to appropriately put this together until this afternoon. There was literally no way for me to inform you of this information prior to when I sent you the notification very late this afternoon. And so again, you're right, best practice would be to have posted a revised agenda. This is not something that requires a vote. It's really just administrative. And I felt that it serving the best public good to present it to you this evening rather than waiting. But of course, it is up to your board to make that decision. And I respect whatever you want to do.
I look at this as this can probably keep for 2 weeks. Do we have a meeting scheduled in 2 weeks? Do we know this? Does anybody know this?
You do.
Okay, can we just put it on, can we put it on next, the next meeting's agenda? Just that there was so much work that went into this. I would hate for one stupid little thing to screw it all up. If it comes down to this is the proper way to do it, and there's nothing that anybody can do to tell us that we're wrong, then I'd rather do it the right way. If that's okay with everybody, can we just put this on next week's agenda and just deal with it then?
Fine with me, Mr. Chairman.
I'm assuming that everybody else feels that way. Allison, I think this can keep for 2 weeks, right?
Again, it doesn't really matter. These
Yes.
businesses are going to operate whether
Regardless.
you approve them or not.
Let's do it the right way. Just put it on. It's not a big deal. Deal with it next week. Everything's gonna just status quo. We'll just keep it real and then deal with it next week. All right. If everybody's good, then we can start talking about Market Street.
I
Here we
didn't have
go.
I didn't have any issues, Mr. Chairman.
No issues. I really don't have any issues either. It's the same drive-through that Burger King has always had. They have the longest, that building had the longest stacking line or lane, whatever it's called, in the town. So I don't have any issues with that. Anybody else?
Well, basically, if it works for a fast food restaurant, it will work for a bank.
Yeah, exactly. I do hear what Mr. Baker Senior's talking about with that back entrance. That is difficult. That's a difficult thing to kind of circumnavigate, because I'll be the first one to say that I'm guilty of cutting through there to get to the Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, locals should learn whether it's someplace that can pass through or not. And if they find they have to keep turning back around and going out Market Street, they'll stop using it as a shortcut.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So mostly- I'm sorry, I was just gonna say locals are the only ones who are gonna know the shortcuts there in the first place.
True. I would suggest, and I don't know if it's something that's necessary. I really don't know if it's something that's necessary or not. Maybe it's something that can be brought up to or recommended to the planning board when they start dealing with site plan approval. I don't think it necessarily needs to be a condition of our special permit approval, but I've seen in a lot of parking lots, a lot of banks, speed bumps. They'll put speed bumps through the parking lot, and it stops people from doing the cut through. There's my bank, South Shore Bank up in Weymouth. That's 58 and 18. They have a parking lot, a front parking lot that cuts off the light that's there. They had to put in two rather large speed bumps to
Those are
stop
the
people.
worst speed bumps in the country.
I know, but it's you don't get nobody's cutting through there.
Yeah.
So but my point is maybe that's something that could be recommended. I'm not saying it needs to be a condition of our approval, but it is something that I know that maybe at that entrance exit, maybe there's a speed bump there that says you better think about this if you're gonna do it. I don't know. That's why I'm saying maybe it's not maybe it doesn't have to be a condition, but it's definitely a concern. I know it's a concern. Mr. Baker Senior knows it's a concern. So. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Nothing from me, Mr. Chairman.
Nothing there,
No,
Mr. Galley, anything?
I was gonna say, I was glad to see that it looked like they were doing 2 lanes in there, because it makes sense, because that's it makes sense, with the way they wrote that out, so.
Mr. Rubel, I know you had nothing during the meeting. Is there anything during this discussion that you wanted to talk about?
No, I think it'll be good to get something in that lot and get rid of the plywood roof and the eyesore that's there. So
Yep.
no, I think it's a great project.
Yep. Members, if we did approve this, would anybody be looking for any specific conditions on the approval? Anybody? Bueller?
A speed bump at the cut through.
Speed, again, I'm not saying that it has to be. I like that idea, just something to make people think about it. Most specific, and it's more for the people like myself that need their cup of coffee in the morning, that are more than willing to cut through an unopened, the bank's not going to be open until 9:30, more than likely. What's a normal bank opening at 9:30?
Maybe 9?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
The
All right.
drive-throughs at the one uptown opens up at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's 8 o'clock. So I'm coming through at 7 o'clock to get my coffee. I have many times cut through that parking lot to get my cup of coffee. Because I don't want to wait at the light. So.
There's a lot of delivery trucks lately that have been cutting through there too to go to the plaza.
That's also true. That's also true. I've seen that happen. So again, I appreciate that condition. I would vote for that condition, but I don't know. It has to be I don't know, it doesn't have to be unanimous, but anybody else? Does anybody else feel that that's a necessity?
Oh, I'm sorry, not on that one, but
Mr. Baker Jr., what do you think?
I think Attorney Gard already mentioned it. I believe he referenced a right turn out of the parking lot onto Market Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be preferable to allowing a left turn as well.
You mean a right turn exit only?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what he was referencing, and
I think
They
it's
Actually, that's something. Union
It's
Street.
possible, but watch this. If we're not gonna limit anything, let him do what he wants to do. And in the end, if it's a site plan approval situation, we can, as opposed to making it a condition, we can probably put it in as a recommendation to the planning board.
yeah, that's fine. I just thought I'd mention it. That's all.
No, I appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that. What else we got?
when he said the right turn, I felt like he was just suggesting the natural course of driving. I don't think he was saying a restriction, but that's just that.
Either way, I don't specifically remember a restriction, but
Yeah.
most people aren't going to recommend to get restricted.
Right.
We're the ones that recommend restrictions. So if I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear any thought of restriction. We can make if it is something that everybody's concerned with, we can make a recommendation to the planning board, but I wouldn't set it as a condition.
I agree.
I'm not
What else we got?
convinced. I'm not convinced at this point that they need like a restriction on the turns out of the parking lot. And I'm not yet convinced they need speed bumps.
Well, we're not saying speed bumps through the parking lot, just like a speed bump at the end, at that secondary exit entrance.
Yeah,
Because at least that way, if somebody does try speeding through there and they hit that speed bump, they're gonna need more than a cup of coffee to get through the morning.
You know, Rob, the only thing is,
I mean,
I don't think they own that anyway.
they do. Someone
They
told me
do
a few months ago that they
that
bought the
drive-through?
building.
Or is it a right of way?
Oh, you mean
They have an
the,
easement over it,
oh, you mean the entrance, the back entrance?
the back entrance.
Oh, I thought you meant the building.
No,
Okay.
because it shows the property line
Access easement.
right at the,
Yep, it's
You know,
it's called out as an access easement. He's got the booking page and stuff like that, but that's what it's called out. So they have the right to access the
building. Yeah, the
the
property.
adjacent property through that. They have the right, and we can't add these, so we can't restrict them from accessing through
Right.
that, using that for access. I'm thinking that maybe it can be a recommendation as opposed to a condition. I don't really think that this needs any conditions. They're showing us that they got the right backup length. They're not touching any of the exterior curbing except at the south side of the space, and they're actually making it better. There's literally nothing that's violating anything here.
Mr. Chairman, I mean,
Yes.
I was not really, keen on the speed bump.
It's fine.
Was it really an issue? I mean, somebody cut through.
I know that people cut through that parking lot, even when Burger King was still operational. I know people will cut through that parking lot to avoid the light.
Yeah.
And again, I'm guilty of it. I know that. So, it's again, this is I don't believe that there's any real conditions that we have to worry about. There are standard conditions that we always put in. It's going to end up talking about the hours of operation, which that's in the application. There's our standard conditions, you have to record it, and you have to show the proof of recording. But other than that, extra conditions, I don't think it's necessary. I don't know if everybody agrees, then we can then somebody make a motion to approve this special permit.
I'll make a motion to approve the special permit.
Without any additional conditions over and above our standard boilerplate, correct?
Correct.
I got a second on Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I got a roll call, Mr. Tansey.
Yes.
Myself is a yes, Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior.
Yes,
Mr. Gallo.
yes.
Steve, if you're listening, you're all good, man.
Hey, thank you very much, and I appreciate the thoughtful discussion. We're on to the planning board. We'll let you know how we make out.
Good luck, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Rob, let him
So-
know about the 21-day appeal thing.
Yeah, we already did that. I already told him that. I told him that before. But I will reissue this 21 days from the date stamp. On the decision, go to the town clerk's office, request a certificate of no appeal if no one has appealed. The town clerk will give you a certification and a copy of the original decision. Take those to the registry of deeds and have them recorded. One of the conditions is always to show the building department proof of recording.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Not a
Well
problem. All right, and we go on to where's my date right there? Other items not reasonably anticipated or listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent allowed by law. Anybody got anything? Anybody want to talk about anything?
No.
I got nothing from Allison. I got nothing from the board members at this point. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I
Second.
got a motion. Where's that
Second.
second? I got a second from Mr. Galley. Roll call, Mr. Tansey.
Yes.
Myself is a yes, Mr. Baker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
and likewise, Mr. Galley.
Yes.
All right, everybody out of here. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
Allison.
All right.
Thank you
Good
all.
night.
Have a good night, everybody.